Hey guys, my name is Noreen Allen-Thompson. I'm the granddaughter of Mr. Vernal Allen, kind of like a daughter based on our relationship. But I'm here today to tell you about, or give you a little synopsis on Daddy's final days and what those looks like for me and for us as a family. So before I get into that lesson, I wanna give you a little bit of a history lesson. So I'm at the back of our home where Daddy lived for over 30 years, where I spent about at least 20 years of my life here. Um, we're at the back where the chicken coop is, if you see that chicken coop. And there's a little old shower. And right here is where we have the washroom, where at the back of the washroom, down here is a step, a little step. And a window was right here. And Daddy and I, back in the day, Daddy would stand here and look after chickens. Sometimes he'd wash his little clothes and have easy access to a line that's right here, or easy access to the fowl coop at the back. Anyway, one day while Daddy and I were here talking, I asked him this question, which to me was a mystery. I said to him, Daddy, what do you think is going to happen in 1997? And he laughed. He said, one thing I know for sure, I'll be a dead man. So I was really, I was wondering, what is this whole concept of death? What is this? So I decided, you know what, let's wait till 1997 to see what this death thing is. 1997 came, and I didn't see him as a dead man. He was very much alive and kicking. So I said, maybe it's 1998. 1998 came, and he was still alive, and I was still happy about that. But we never talked about it because it was so mysterious, and I don't know if maybe if I asked him if it would suddenly happen. So I never said anything. Anyway, 1999 came, 2000 came, nothing like that happened. Obviously, as we all know, Daddy lived until January 2nd, 2021. I told you that story to give you this background understanding of the joke that Daddy and I had. Because Daddy would call me, because I live in the US now, and he'd call Dwayne and myself, and he would say, Noreen, I think I'm going to die. And I'd say, Daddy, you've been dying from 1997. So let's not hasten this process. I don't think it's time yet, and let's leave that into God's hands because, none of us want to embrace finality like that. But obviously, if Daddy was saying that from 1997, he had a mindset that was open and willing to finality if that day came for him. And that's the whole reason I'm telling that story. Anyway, let's jump on to what happened, this time. In December 2020, we got a call, Dwayne, myself, we got a call saying, Dwayne is my husband. We got a call saying that Daddy wasn't well. We got 4 calls, and that was concerning. Friends called me, Daddy himself called me and said he was not well. And Dwayne and I, we came together and said, you know what, this sounds serious, we need to go down. So we packed up the kids, everybody came down to see what's going on. And when I came, Daddy looked good to me. And I was a little bit upset because I'm like, Daddy, and I spoke to him about it. I said, Daddy, you're looking good. It's not like you're dying. And I got frightened that, you were on death's bed or something. And he explained to me, he said, Noreen, to be honest with you, I know that I'm walking around, this leg is giving me a problem, but to be honest with you, I'm not feeling good in my body. And I decided that, you know what, it's best to respect that because we never know what a person feels inside. We look at them on the face, but we don't know what's happening inside of them. Only they can tell that. So I respected that. He went to the doctors. The doctor told him that he should be admitted. He told the doctor no, Dr. Fraser. He told him no, he can't go to the hospital right now because I am here and we just got in the day before. We didn't get to talk yet. So Daddy came back home. We had some good times together. We spent a lot of moments. He got to interact with um, his great grandchildren, which is my children, Dana and Nadalia. He and I got to talk. We talked about Daddy wrapped up a lot of stuff. He told me all his business, where things are, all that stuff. And I know this sounds mysterious, but I even took his eulogy. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but it was something that Daddy and I agreed on. He was willing to do it, so I sat him down and I asked him all the questions about his life that, he would want to ever have shared. And after a week of being with us, Daddy went back to the hospital. He was admitted, and I'm telling you, it was not an easy process. It was not an easy experience. Seeing a man walk into the hospital, strong and alive, pretty vibrant, and to just see his health decline day after day, it was really, I can't give you the words, it was just difficult. The doctors called me one day and they told me that he has multiple complications. He had possible cancer in the intestines, possible cancer in the lungs. He has heart failure. He has pulmonary embolism, among some other little things. So as you can hear, it's a host of things. And I was like, I don't know if I can tell Daddy this. But after I left the conversation with the doctor, he called me. He said, "What did the doctor say?" And I'm like, "Daddy, they said you have to do a lot of tests." He wasn't satisfied with that. He knew it was more, and I was rushing out because it was the ending of visiting period. So the next day he asked me the same question, and the day after that he asked me. So the second time when he asked me, I told him, and Daddy, his reaction surprised me. He was in total embrace of the fact that he's not well. He knew he wasn't well, and he said to me, "Noreen," he sat up and his voice got deeper with a sense of ease and confidence and an okay attitude. And he said, "Noreen, I am not surprised." He said, "The way I'm feeling in my body, I know that I'm getting closer to the day." And by this time, I was crying. And he said to me, "You cry?" And I'm thinking to myself, how can I not? Because you're talking about embracing finality. And he said, "Listen, every day that we get on earth, it's a day when we have one more thing. We have something else to do because God has given us one more day to do something else on earth. So I'm still here. And every time I'm here, every day that I'm here, I pray to God for one more day." And the day when I saw him last, based on his condition on that day, I knew it was the last I was going to see him alive. And I came home, I was sad. I was crying through the middle of the night. And I spoke to God about it. I asked God for three things. I asked him for peace, for myself to be able to accept what was coming. I asked him for peace for Daddy to embrace his finality. And I asked him for wisdom in this process, just being able to handle what was coming. And God told me that this is a day. But I was hoping I would see him one more time. It didn't happen, but I was really hoping. But the doctors called me the morning off, and he called me at 9:25, and he said, "Miss Allen, Mr. Allen died at 9:15 this morning," and I'm not gonna lie to you, that was the most difficult piece of news I've ever received in my life. I cannot explain to you. Tears flowed. I was hollering. It was nice. It's just difficult. If you know me well, you know that Daddy's the closest thing to me. Daddy was my king. Daddy was my knight in shining armor. Anyway, one thing I want to leave with you guys today is for us, for me, for family. I want us to think about the legacy that he left us with. I want us to bear in mind the good things that he shared, the lessons he taught us. Daddy was his best self, and he did what he thought was best for us always. Let's hold on to that. Let's keep his legacy alive. It's difficult, but let's hold on to the good things so that he could be proud if he ever found out how we live. Guys, thanks for listening. Uh, let's take this with a smile, even though it hurts in our heart. Daddy will live on forever in my heart.